Everybody, I'm Mike DeLisio.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Chris Yee.
Welcome to the finals day of the Dice Towers Autumn Spectacular, and we are starting it strong with an episode of Crowdsurfing. This is earlier than normal.
It is very early. I am enjoying a. Can you call this a cup of joe?
You can call that a cup of dessert, is what you can call it. You can call that a coffee shake.
Call it a nice carbonated beverage.
Let's, Chris. Too soon. Too soon. It's I meant caffeinated. Anyway, we're thrilled to have you here. It's early for surfing, but hey, you know,
Z's in good shape.
We're gonna make it happen.
He knows how to straw. I used the word straw instead of the other word.
I'm completely lost.
Words?
Hey, a little bit of
through a straw.
A little bit of housekeeping here at the beginning. We are very much in the midst of a storm right now, and so there is definitely weather about and afoot, and so just keep that in mind. If there's any kind of interruption with internet or power, you know, that could affect things. We hope not. We made it through yesterday pretty much unfazed, but just be aware that there is weather in the area, and so that is something to keep in mind.
And we're not exactly in a place of danger either.
Right.
I know some people are like, why are you streaming?
Yeah, no, we're all good. We're all good.
We're safe.
But just wanted to mention that. Also wanted to mention contest. Oh! Yes. How about a $50, that's a $50 gift certificate to Game Nerds?
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
I like the sounds of that.
I'm love the sounds of that. And if you like the sounds of that, what you need to do, I'll
tell you what you need to do.
Write to us. So I'll you do it.
Go ahead and get some coffee in you. What you need to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, you're going to write autumn. Correctly spelled, you animals. It's the M, then the N. And you just might win 50 buckaroos to Game Nerds. Thank you to Game Nerds for that one. Make sure you email us. Mike, how you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Is the weather outside getting to your throat?
It's frightful.
Is it the fear?
But the something is so delightful.
The water?
Sure, the water is very delightful.
Good. It's not as good as my cup of joe.
Coffee hasn't been within 10 miles. There are no coffee beans that have been anywhere near that cup. I want you to be clear on that.
Of course, definitely.
There's no coffee in there.
How do you make
ice cream? Yeah. There's whipped cream.
Yeah, whipped. Yeah.
There's flavored syrups of various types.
You're dripping on the table.
This is outrageous. Hey,
it's like there's like 3 getting ready to drip.
You know what also is outrageous? The love we have for our spotlight videos that are presented to us by our own friend Mark
Street. Did I get it?
This spotlight is brought to you by Game Trays Labs. It's a time of high adventure. Far from the galactic core, Theria and its moons have been strip-mined and left for dead. Abandoned workers huddle together in makeshift settlements, struggling to survive in a world of scarce resources and lawlessness. Native nomads and bizarre creatures resurface to take back the wastelands. Factions and adventurers rise and fall, but only the greatest will be remembered in legend. Forsaken is an immersive sandbox adventure game where you take the role of a character looking to leave their mark in the harshest of worlds. Your goal is to secure your place as a legend in any way you can. But there are many ways to become a legend. Navigating through personal and public story objectives, doing odd jobs, hunting down bounties, and even gambling at the cantina can all cause your reputation to grow. Finding the right opportunities to upgrade your gear, weapons, and skills can help you along the way. The more you change about the world, the bigger the mark you make, and the greater your legend will be. Only a few hours left on this Kickstarter, so if you want more information, please check out the campaign.
All right. Well, Crowdsurfing is all about checking out projects on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's the one.
GameFound.
That's the one.
Backer Kit sometimes.
Backer Kit.
Indiegogo sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So
I have a GoFundMe up
GoFundMe
there right now.
up
You
there
have
right now.
Chris's GoFundMe.
We got a super chat from Genway. Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
morning,
buddy.
Genway.
Let's get going. Let's get right
do it.
into this.
Okay,
Let's
come on.
start
Okay.
off with a.
One thing to note,
Ah,
because we're out of town next week, we're covering 2 weeks worth of projects today. But not everything that's already currently on Kickstarter. If we're not covering it, either we don't have time or it's ending too far out.
Yeah, right.
got it.
Yeah.
Got
But yeah,
it.
2
So-
weeks worth of stuff.
Yeah, we
Got it.
do our best to capture all of these, and by we, I mean Tom. So if you have any issues, you know who your problem is with. All
Email
right,
Chris
Tom.
at dicetower.com with your various complaints.
that's correct. So we're
How does
starting
it feel,
off.
Z? You used to be the butt end of that joke.
We're starting off with what they say is the final expansion
final.
for Clinic, which is a. I would say heavyweight. I haven't played it, but from
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I've heard,
Alvin
heavyweight.
VR
Europe.
has all. He
Yeah.
does all the heavy games. You know, city or tiny town or tiny city or whatever.
Yeah.
Clinic. They're all really heavy Euro games.
Correct.
There's a lot of content here already, and this is the final one. Now you have to deal with that description. Where was the description
I don't
that
know.
I thought this
but you're
one?
looking at your screen and they're seeing what's on my screen.
I know, but
I was
there's
like, I'm
like some
looking-
writing I wouldn't be able to read there that
Okay.
I thought was funny. This one. To conclude,
Here we go.
the Clinic Deluxe Edition, I wanted to focus on the disposal
Yeah.
and recycling of all the refuse produced when patients are treated.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what they're talking about.
So
what are they
here's.
referring to?
I'm not going to get into
You're not
that.
gonna
This
help me
is
understand.
the best example of let's not get caught up in the details. But
Bedpans and broomsticks.
I do
baby.
know that Clinic has been kind of one of the things that people talk about is the fact that there's a whole bunch about parking. Like, isn't that like a big aspect of the game? Is
lot of-
figuring out how the parking works?
Because a lot of the
Really?
game is about, I haven't played it, but a lot of it is just the logistics of running a hospital.
Yeah.
And so how do you get people there and then get them into triage and then get them around? But yeah, a lot of that is like parking and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
sorts of things. I mean, this is a big, epic, heavy Euro game.
Yes.
With a lot of parts, as you can see, and here's some more. Definitely not something for me. I have played a couple of his games. They are heavy. They are intimidating Euro games. Just not my style.
I'm very curious to play this game at all. I have a copy at home.
Oh, you do?
Adding more to it. We'll see. We'll touch the base game first.
Are you
Especially
interested
'cause-
in the syringe expansion?
Am I not interested?
Well, especially because there's so many expansions. When we
Yeah.
saw the list before.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seemed like, whew.
Well, I think they're
all
modular,
kind-
right?
They're all kind of smaller boxes,
Yeah.
from what I
Okay.
understand too. So
Yeah. But they're saying the final one, so you know.
They say,
every
until,
time
until
I-
they have the big box.
every time a company says the final expansion, I either don't believe them,
Right.
Yeah.
or they're going to come out with Clinic the Dice game.
You think
in a
it's
week.
like you think it's like the final Kiss tour or the final Who tour that's been going on for 17 years?
the Ozzy Osbourne retirement tour.
Yeah, right.
Followed by the Ozzy Osbourne retirement sucks tour.
All right, moving on to Quodd Heroes 2nd Edition. Now, this is a game that I played the 1st edition. I know Tom has as well. Tom is gave it a seal of approval. I played it as a solo game, which I think is quite good. This is a game that I think is really interesting. It is not like any other game I've played. It has these really, really impressive pre-painted, I guess you'd call them minis, but they're really cubes.
Plastic.
Are they, well, yeah, I was going to ask what material they are.
I want to say that I thought they were closer to like a resin, but
Okay, so they
I'm
are
not
hard. They're not like-
positive. No, they're hard. They're not squishy or
Okay.
anything like that. Yeah.
Because they
does it
reminded me of like
say-
toddler bath toys.
They're definitely not toddler bath toys. I don't know
I
if
thought
it
the same thing about
says-
Clinic. I was like, a game about parking. There's a toddler bath toy.
I love that toddler bath toy as like as a way to deride something that isn't up to your standards.
Right.
What is this toddler bath toy? I love that. How do we not use that?
That's not what I said. No, that is what I said. Not what I meant. No, I just meant like that material, that has to be soft so you can get the water out, the little drain hole.
No,
That's what I meant by it.
It's not like that at all. I want to say it's closer to like a resin type feel. I don't know if it is. I doubt it is resin.
It's plastic.
Yeah, some type of plastic. But yeah, they're very, very impressive looking, and they basically all have different kind of powers, and the idea is that you have these kind of modular boards that are set up, and you have objectives you have to reach, and different movement patterns. I liked the game quite a bit. And it looks like the second edition has kind of addressed some of the issues that they maybe had found in the first one.
I don't know. I am concerned it's kind of trying to do everything, though. It's cooperative, or 1 versus 1, or solo, or 6-player, or solo, or cooperative, or laugh out loud, or it's just like this or that, or da-da-da-da-da.
It tries to say what it is.
So it's got, free for all, where everyone's kind of fighting against each other. Then you've got team games. The solo, I think, is actually an add-on because he made some specific scenarios for that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I've only played it as a solo game, but I don't get the impression it would be all that different depending upon which mode you're playing.
Okay.
The main thing about this is it's got a kind of a puzzly aspect where you are trying to utilize the movement. Whatever face is face up, it determines what type of movement you can do on that turn.
Yeah.
So you're puzzling it out, trying to, get your objectives fulfilled, or, get to a particular place on the map and collect a crystal or what have you.
I tell you, this sounds just, I don't know what it is about this. I think they're cute things. The sound of this game is a little annoying to me. I don't know what it is.
Is it Pinky Sweets?
That could
very well be it. I think the way they're selling it is like, this is the ultimate rad game for rad people. That I don't love. I find that kind of grating.
I have to prove to people that I'm a rad person, though.
Right, no, I get that. And you certainly do, Chris. But
I'm so
this
rad.
Game, you're so crazy. This game, I don't know. I'm not loving on it. You know what I mean? It's not the kind of game we often say, if this was in front of me, I'd give it a try. If this was in front of me, I think I just would not engage.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm not disputing that because I can't, much as I'd like to. Maybe you wouldn't want to engage, but I guarantee you'd pick it up, you'd look at the pieces, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of neat looking. And because I mean, production-wise, it's pretty impressive looking. I saw a pre-production at Gen Con, and it looked amazing in pre-production form. So
if this is a game that if someone was playing, I would definitely stop and take a look and want to see. I think my concern with it is, one, it has everything. You can do this or this or this or this. And then the second being, it just seems really involved because it does lay out the steps, and I love that, in the pages where it's like, here's how to play. Tell me how to play. Don't link me to a video. So I love that they do that. But by like phase 5, I was like, wait, what? Like, we're still in phases? Like,
I would say,
and so it just seemed a little more, I would want to see it played.
I get
I'd
that.
Pause.
It's not that complex, but it looks a little bit more than it is. It is procedural, though. It really is, because you have to kind of like, play cards first and then, set your movement. And so there is a procedure to it, for sure.
All right.
All right, moving on to a game that I think this was played here, yes? Was there a live play done of Elric?
This was played here.
Was it the 3 of y'all?
It was not me.
I was in it.
Z, me, and Tom.
It did, I will say, it took me a solid 5 to 8 minutes to remember I had played this.
Okay.
Really?
Put that on the box.
You don't have any connection to the story, right? Or the novels?
No,
right?
no,
Okay.
I don't. I've never read any of this stuff. I do like this writer who's done some steampunk type stuff.
Okay.
This is not steampunk.
And I learned that from the comments after the live play that a lot of this novel series and stuff inspired a lot of what is in like Dungeons and Dragons lore and this idea of like alignment systems and whatnot. It's a hugely influential book series, novel series that I knew nothing about. So I think that a lot of this game didn't speak to me because you probably want to care a little bit more about Elric and the young bloods or the young print, whatever it's called. Like, I don't know anything about it. I'm not bragging about that.
Sure.
I'm just stating that's where I'm coming from.
I'll say, just on the standard of what you're getting for the money, I'm kind of impressed. And maybe this is maybe it's because I've backed a lot of projects, or we've talked about this every week, but $75 doesn't seem like that much for a game with a lot of content, including minis, and the all-in pledge is $100. I'm a bit surprised by that, because it does seem like you're getting a fair amount of content. So I don't know, that the price point seems at least reasonable.
It does, especially to have all those minis and everything, and individual sculpts on the minis and things.
Many cards.
They're cool figures and everything. It's not my speed of game. Is ultimately what it comes down to, on a personal level. Of, is it a little, and I don't mean this in a derisive way, is a little Munchkin-ish, right? There's. You go into a battle, you ask for aid from the other players.
Okay.
They could play negative effects on people. I will say it was one of the most tense games.
Is it one that had tiers?
Yeah, you move up the tiers.
It's still like, okay, now I remember which one this is.
It led to a lot of really funny moments, even though it's not my type of game. Like when Z got a bunch of these like mischief cards, and he's sitting there every time someone's like, I call for aid from, and Z's like, got a card. 'Cause I was like, from Z, would you like to help me?
Right.
You know.
What do you think of the art? I don't hate the art.
I think the art is
like
solid.
it.
It's
I
very
really
good
like
artwork,
it.
actually.
Yeah.
I think all the character artwork, that's very good. I thought the gameplay, Munchkin-y is kind of, it's like a big miniatures Munchkin sort of game.
Okay.
And
there's our playthrough there.
there's that, there is something to that statement there, Chris. I honestly just couldn't remember it. And it's not been that long. I don't think we played this that long ago.
Yeah.
There was some back and forth. It's very in your face.
We have people asking about shipping. So here it looks like right now euros and dollars are very close to each other. So you're looking at between $25 and $35 depending on which pledge. If you're in the United States, obviously that will change depending upon what country you are. Well, you say wow, but I think right now that's pretty standard.
And again,
it's indicative of where,
for as many miniatures as this has in it, like that's pretty standard.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're not basically doubling the price of the pledge on shipping, people are like, "Oh, hey, that's great," Sure. So that's a little bit.
I definitely think that this is one that would stick out more. I mean, I was running the stream when you guys were doing it, and it just felt very. It felt like it's thematic, but a theme that I didn't have any idea what was going on. Like, it definitely seems like it would benefit from coming from that background knowledge.
And how is it doing? It is doing pretty well. I mean, it's only 56 hours to go, so it's not going to blow the doors off. It looks like it doubled-ish its goal, but who knows?
It's a small company.
It's from a company that's only done two things. We don't really know this company. It's the same game twice.
Right.
They say they once, it canceled, and they try it again.
Okay.
So, yes, it's a new company.
But you're right, it's a role-playing company, and this is kind of their first foray into doing a board game like
Which,
this.
again, if you're interested in this theme, coming from a role-playing company, I think that's probably something speaking to it.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, well, moving on to a game that has a large presence in board gaming is Sagrada, and this is a game that we're going to be playing here live in just a little bit later on today, Sagrada Artisans, and this is going to be taking that dice placement game that many of us, has everyone here played Sagrada before?
I have.
Yeah, I think we've all played it. Dice placement, stained glass theme, and this is now making it a legacy game of dice drafting and window coloring. So I don't think that this is an expansion. It's a standalone, correct?
Standalone.
Standalone, 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes, and it looks like there's some coloring that may be going on here, yeah? Is that correct?
Looks like you.
So much more. Yeah, so, okay. What were you going to say, Chris?
So you have a booklet that you play through the Legacy campaign. I think it's 10-ish games, right? And the idea is the history, the Sagrada Familia started being constructed in 1882, and it's still going.
Can I have a little more historical background, please?
Right. 1882 is also the year that Elton John was born.
I have no one to blame but myself. All right, here we go.
So yeah, you go through this, it's kind of like a coloring book, almost, right? As you're drafting the dice,
like
you then color
the spiral-bound
spaces.
book here we're seeing?
Yeah, that's what the game is played on, rather than putting dice out onto...
Hey, Roy.
That's odd. Anyway,
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's just the background I think changed.
Makes no sense.
So anyway, you, instead of placing the dice out, you're just coloring and writing in the numbers. It's kind of a neat shtick, but the first question is, well, why not just place dice?
Yeah.
And there is a reason why, because the game will change over time, and so there will be reasons.
Okay.
Right. And it comes with colored pencils.
Right.
I do wonder, though. I'll have to see it. I think I'm in that game, so I'll be playing it. I do wonder why they didn't go the dry erase route.
I mean, it's a legacy game.
It sounds,
legacy. That's true.
It sounds like Chris says it will change. So
there you go. That would be why. That would be why.
Yeah,
also, you're going to want to tune in, not only to look at the game, but there is a dice tower.
An add-on dice tower.
So let me show it here, actually. It's look at this. Customizable deluxe dice tower. And if you want to know what this bad boy looks like,
gorgeous.
We're going to show it off. It is
gorgeous.
Redonkulous. Dogmite, right?
A donkey.
Yeah,
it is customizable. Could be a donkey.
It is a very, very impressive dice tower. Now, I mean, that's
stained glass donkey.
That is a price that will get your attention. But Dogmite is kind of known for doing those very highly crafted artisan. You know, these are heirloom type things. So
yes.
Anyway, it's fun to be able to check that out, even if it's not going to be something that everyone's going to get because of the cost. But it is pretty.
Are they
cool.
limited?
I don't know.
Well,
honestly, I imagine
your wallet. I mean, yes.
But
they're limiting, but not limited.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It says post-campaign MSRP, so maybe not. Maybe it's something that they'll be producing. Maybe they'll have them at conventions or on their website.
Yeah.
Not sure. But anyway, I'm looking forward to trying this out today.
I am looking forward to that.
I have zero interest in that. Like, probably negative interest in that.
In the game?
In the Sagrada legacy.
Really?
You just don't, I'm guessing you just don't like base Sagrada, right?
Base Sagrada is very bland. Not bland. I don't care for Sagrada. And so just going into
I'm
this.
looking forward to it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Which is funny
I
because
have
it's
negative interest in this.
Wow, I enjoy Sagrada.
I find it perfectly fine.
You don't like Calico either, do you?
Oh, I despise
There
Calico.
you go. There's
Let me
your
be clear.
thing.
I despise Calico too, though. I like
So I think
Sagrada.
the message we're getting here is Camilla likes games that let her do whatever she wants.
I like to pillage.
I can't go there?
to
I hate the
plunder.
game.
Basically, yes. Don't put me in a corner. I will
Don't constrain
burn it.
her in any way.
Do not
Don't
hold me
fence
back.
me in. Moving on.
That's a good compliment.
The Fox Experiment.
a good segue.
You're dripping again.
And also, there's zero coffee in there. I think we've established this. The Fox Experiment. This is a game that we have played live here, yes?
We have already in the
Yes.
past.
Speaking of excitement.
It's rare that there are games that we cover, unless they're like, second editions or reprints. It's rare that new games that we talk about are ones that we've been able to play. I've played this game multiple times now because, we played it live and then we took the pre-production copy to the retreat.
Yes.
Taught it multiple times there.
Got to
so
play it with people.
I have more opinions on this than I would probably on other games that we've been covering, but this is the newest game that is co-designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, famed from Wingspan, where you are breeding fox pups and you're trying to kind of focus on the traits that are friendly, things along those lines. And so it's got a bit of a roll and write element, but I would not call it a roll and write game.
No.
Although technically you are doing that, I would not call it a roll and write game.
No, I think it's a game with a roll and write mechanism in it, but it is not. I would not call it a roll and write game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
and that doesn't constrain you, right? So you like
I love this game. It was so much
You can do whatever
fun.
you want in this one, so you like that.
That is
I like
correct.
this a lot.
It's a very good game.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
we're kind of we're putting some of our opinions out there already, but that's because we've played it. I think the game is pretty spectacular.
I thought it was.
It
has a lot of luck, like with the dice and the rolling it and trying to breed the foxes, but then the mitigation as well. As you have the wild tokens. And I think the theme comes through really well.
Yep.
I think it's very historically backed, and you can see that they did that research and they know what they're doing, and it kind of makes you want to go look into the theme, and this fox experiment. But no, I very much enjoyed this.
This may sound a little bit stupid, and it might be a me thing, but
please do.
One of the reasons why I do like this game is that I could teach it right now without looking at the rule book. And you talk to me in 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, if I haven't played it, I could teach it right now without looking at the rule book. Once you get the structure of it, it makes intuitive sense. The game makes thematic sense. There's not a lot of weird edge cases. I just really feel like it's a smooth playing game.
Right.
And
to that point, we learned it live, and a lot of times we have to spend a lot of time before live, like, hey, hold on, let me kind of teach you this a little bit.
Yep.
And we did that a little bit, but but not as much. But what I found in the playthrough is you can learn the game as you play it through, give a couple overhead rules, and then jump in. Okay, let's just go ahead because this will make more sense if we do it. You know, so it's not a 20-minute overhead, sit down, have to really go in deep in order to jump in.
This is interesting. The co-designer, I didn't notice this until now, is a rules editor and developer. And some of the games that he's developed are games I really like. Flamecraft. Yeah. Brew, not so much. Mind Management, I love. Yeah. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns is fantastic, a solo game.
Yeah.
So that even makes more sense to me.
I too like the Fox Experiment. I think that it's a slick game. It has, I don't know, it has exciting moments you build up over the course. By then, you're just rolling a big chunk of dice. There are maybe a rule that one player or two players at the table could miss.
Maybe half the players were not told a rule, the other half were told a rule.
That's not sketch.
No, it's great.
Well, it has good player interaction, right? Where you can breed the fox and put it back in, but then somebody else can take it. Yeah, no, I like it.
Card sale!
Woo! This is as far as we're scrolling down.
I'm not going to scroll too much here. I think I'm okay to scroll a little bit.
This is a...
No, it's a rocket. It's a rocket.
Really not.
It's a rocket.
Go back on, Mike.
Stop scrolling.
It's fine. All right, I'll go back on the top. All right. It was a rocket, for goodness sakes. All right. It's one of those judging type games, right?
Yeah.
Get cards, play cards, try to sell people on your thing.
It's like the snake oil kind of games, but wait, there's more.
Right.
Yep.
But now you can mess people over also. So there's not just good or weird modifiers, but directly bad ones. It sounds very tired. It also looks like the absolute least effort possible was put into it. There's a lot of adult content, really dumb sort of, again, introductory humor in it.
All the effort went into the video.
Yeah, all the effort went into the video.
Yeah.
I almost didn't watch it.
We will not show you.
I was like,
you
should watch the video.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's nothing else to say about
this.
This
and I can't scroll too much because there are things that are...
Yeah, it's very adult.
And also in the video, to be clear.
Yes.
It's humorous. Also tiring. And I think the video actually describes kind of my feelings about the game. Like, that's kind of funny.
They make the same joke like 3 or 4 times about this is adult. I got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Anyway.
All right, here we go. Combi-Nations. Now, this is one where I absolutely and completely despise the cover. Hate the cover, and the cover is so bad that I almost didn't want to look any deeper into it, but then I did because I had to because it's my job.
Name sold you.
Because it's my job. And I'm glad I did because although it's not making a lot of money, I think there's some interesting ideas going on here mechanically, right? Like the way they describe the way you pick the tiles, I think that's very interesting. And this publisher does a lot of small print run stuff. So you've probably played some of their... I played Roll to the Top from them.
I played a lot of their games.
Yeah, so you probably have some more background on this than I do.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting project here. Koali is, like you said, a small publisher from basically this designer. It's his publishing house. He does a few, he does a print run of about 1,000. That's it. This one's very interesting because if you back this, one of the options you can choose is to pick it up at Spiel, which is in about a week.
Right. So these are done.
So these are done. You can pre-order it here, and this is actually one that tempted me into possibly doing this. I tend to like his designs. They are usually pretty Eurogame, but he's got his own unique way of doing Euro games.
Is Habitats his biggest game?
Habitats is one of his biggest game.
Factory
I don't know.
Funner, maybe?
Factory Fun or Factory Funner, probably, are the biggest ones.
And you really like Power Boats, too, right?
Power Boats is a great game. That got a reprint as Power Ships, I think. That one's out of print. Yeah, he's got a decent amount of games.
Typey there.
And I tend to, like I said, like his stuff. Now, I did not read the rule book, which I probably will if I intend to maybe back this and pick it up at Spiel. There's not a great explanation of what's happening in the game.
Right.
He does a good job of explaining how you select tiles.
Yeah, which sounds interesting.
That's cool.
To be fair,
you know, I like that mechanically. That sounds neat. I would have to read the rule book to understand why I'm picking tiles.
Luckily, that is there.
That's right there. So you can read the rule book and figure it out. But yeah, I again, this is not in the quote-unquote spirit of Kickstarter, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think Kickstarter cares that much, and clearly a lot of folks don't either.
Although it is to the
Kickstarter
extent that
doesn't
it's a small, it's a very small boutique publisher. So I guess it fits in that sense. But yeah, it's more of like a pre-order,
It's
right?
clearly, I mean, these you can get it next week.
Right.
Right. This is good exposure for them. So yeah,
You can pre-order
do
here
it.
and go get it at Spiel. Yeah. So yeah, I like his stuff. It's interesting, and you can do add-ons, which I
Yeah.
also am kind of tempted by.
Right.
You know, you can add on some of his other games. They're a little harder to get. If
Right.
you do not pre-order them, you can't guarantee they'll be at his booth.
Yeah.
He's got this tiny little booth at Essen.
Yep.
So
So the booth is
called
like
a
just
closet.
a pickup. Like
no, he'll sell there,
Yeah.
but it's tiny little place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I do not like that cover, but the game looks interesting.
I don't know.
I like stacking tiles.
Kingdom
curious.
Builder Anniversary Edition, and boy, do I hate this project.
I have many similar feelings to that,
I
Mike.
hate this project because while I did not love the game, I thought it was okay. I know there are this is kind of a divisive game, I would say. There are some people that really love it. Some people that don't like it so much. I'm closer into that camp. I think it's okay. But this is another example of, I don't know why this is a game you deluxify. This does not, to me, it's not the type of game that needs these types of minis. But
Which is huge because you're really into that. You're really
I
into
usually am
the
into
toy factor.
yeah,
and
but for this,
so
not
that's
so
really
much.
Here's
interesting.
the worst thing, though.
All right.
Right?
Ooh, I do
I
that,
like
though.
Kingdom Builder a lot, and I agree. This doesn't need to be deluxified. This was deluxified in the last year. They did the Kingdom Builder.
Oh, that's right,
The
they did.
Ultimate Edition box.
They did.
And now within a year, or maybe a little bit more, right? But within the time that I've worked here, now they're doing an Anniversary Edition, which is just that same box. All the same content in a different box. It says Anniversary Edition. This feels
They
so
just sold
close
a sticker
to
that
just...
said Anniversary Edition.
Right, this feels so soulless to me.
I do like the resin tiles, but those
Yeah,
were
it's
the
kind of
same
a
as in the
weird-
other one, right?
It's a weird double, triple dipping of the same thing. I mean, I suppose you're making it available again, but then keep the other one in print. I don't know.
So here we go. This
Your
is
Queen
saying,
games, you have probably some finance.
here's
Right.
what's
Okay.
new between the Anniversary Edition and the previous base game.
Yeah, previous
this
base
game-
game is
Right, but
skipping
they're
a lot
not
of
even
things.
things.
they're not
Right.
even talking about. Yeah, this isn't the Anniversary Edition, right? This is the Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Copy,
Richard.
paste.
Wow.
Apparently that was the penultimate version.
Yeah, this just to me, I don't know. I don't want to dunk on Queen too hard, but I really
No, I will. This infuriates me.
I really do think that they are potentially gaining a reputation within the industry of doing some very, I don't know,
It's not a
divisive
good
things on
look when you're like,
Kickstarter.
this is the ultimate printing
Yeah.
of this. This is the absolute best. This is the pinnacle edition.
Right.
But then in about a year, we're going to put out another edition with a different title, include one new Queenie.
A
Right.
new little promo.
Yeah.
And that's like the absolute worst kind of behavior is with like, oh, we're going to re-release this one thing. This
Yeah.
new movie's going to the theater with 2 minutes of added footage. We're putting out this new whatever, this new album with one extra hidden song.
Yep.
It's that. It's predatory behavior.
And also, look, the market is kind of speaking here. I mean, sure, they busted that goal, but that goal is complete nonsense. The $5,000 goal is absolutely arbitrary,
Yeah.
and it could have been $1 for
Because
you
these
know.
are made.
Exactly.
Right.
But they're only making 30,000 with 3 days to go. 313 backers. That's, I don't know, to me, for a game that has an established kind of, presence, was it nominated or win?
It won.
It won the
Kenner
Kenner
Spiel.
Spiel, right? So
That's because their target audience just got it.
Yeah.
Right,
So
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
Or maybe hasn't even gotten it.
or maybe
yet.
not even
Right,
yeah.
right.
So their target audience is already saturated with
yeah,
this.
yeah, I'm not a fan of this project. All right, roll the deck for use with Steve Jackson's pick a card dice. So this is just it looks like a supplement to these dice that Steve Jackson Games has put out.
It's a game book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the dice already existed. You roll
Right.
2 dice that gives you a suit and a rank. Mm-hmm. So king of spades,
Right,
king
right.
of whatever gloves. Okay, and then a book, or it's
PDF
it's almost
even.
like a pamphlet because
Yeah.
it's
Right.
11 games, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, rules for 11 different games. that you use these dice and I guess a regular deck of cards for.
Right.
Right.
Here's what I don't get.
Yeah, okay.
Here's what I don't get. 11 games, PDF, delivery date, March of next year. Why?
Well, they need to make the games first.
Are you kidding me?
They had to come up with the games, the 11 games. Well, no, they already have all the games because
that's the joke. That's the joke.
No, that wasn't on you.
I
that was
literally
me.
don't get that.
Well, they're all, even like when you would get a physical thing, which are some of the other ones, right?
Yeah.
It's March 2023.
Right.
The PDF should certainly be available before that.
I would think it should be available now.
But it's not.
I wonder if they're just going to release it at the same time
Just
to
want to
encourage
kind of-
people to get the paper version or something.
Yeah, I really don't
Well, encourage
understand
them to
that.
get it if they got the paper. Oh, you mean to encourage the paper
I
version?
guess they want to hold them back
Maybe.
so that people don't
print them
share
on their
that.
own.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
That
really
could
don't
be,
know.
But that's I don't
That
like
is
that.
weird.
I don't like that at all. This reminds me a little bit, sorry, Chris, of the Knizia dice games properly explained. Basically, you remember that old book where it's basically standard dice. Here's 8,000 games based
Right.
off of standard dice, or
Yeah, I like this idea a lot
Yeah.
because I grew up having little books of like card games, games with 52 decks of cards. A sequel to that book called, inspiredly, More Card Games with 52 cards. You know, it feels like that. It feels kind of like, it reminds me of my childhood a bit.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea of these dice doing
Yeah.
something interesting.
I don't hate the idea. I think the price
Yeah.
point is right on point, so to speak.
It's
but
fine,
the,
yeah.
the date of the PDF is what I don't get.
Yeah, it's
That's
weird.
very
It's
odd
weird.
to me.
Yeah,
This
I
looks
think-
all right.
I think this platform fits a standard deck of card kind of thing, because a lot of times in those games where it's this one board that you can play 7 different games on, that's
Yeah.
really clear. I think this is different when you're talking about the card games because
Right.
there is so much you can do
Yeah.
with that standard deck.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right.
So your
I like
your
these
dessert
dice.
shake got you all shook up over here.
that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. Spark Riders 3,000.
3,000?
I went from
Son.
This is a project I went from having no interest in based on that cover and that
Yeah.
look and that name.
It looks pretty slick though, doesn't it?
But
I like
really
it.
cool.
Kinda does. I was the
Yes.
same way. I'm like,
I was
oh,
like,
come on. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
the video is funny because it's in two
Too many
halves.
details.
That is definitely not the Millennium Falcon, by the way.
Oh
No,
no.
no, no.
And that was another thing I
Legally
looked at. I was like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah. But no, this looks pretty nifty, actually.
The video is funny because it's in two halves. The first 3 minutes of the video is like a CG cinematic
Yeah.
of the story of the
I skipped
game.
that.
And then the last 2 minutes is like, here's how the game works. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, thank you.
I do like all the plastic minis, the cannons, the everything looks cute and kind of chubby, and the whole game has a real light-hearted look, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
It looks like it's just gonna just bounce along.
Right.
It does not seem self-important. It seems silly. It seems cartoony.
Right.
There's
Seems
some
like
humor in there.
It's going to prioritize a fun cooperative game.
Yeah, fun,
Yes.
silly and fun, and just don't take it seriously and have a good time. Sometimes that can backfire for me. If a game is like, oh, we didn't worry about any of the, silly things like rules. Just have fun.
Yep. They've got a poker chip here for Alex. This is Alex right there.
Oh.
Yeah, the look of this reminds me of a game that just was released that unfortunately did not work for me, which was Mission Catastrophe. This looks very
Yes,
similar to
it
that,
does.
and that game just for a number of reasons didn't work for me. And a lot of it was like, I don't know, this doesn't look like it has to take that-y type stuff or any of that, which can be a turn off. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. This is one that I was initially not interested in, and then I was like, this looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I didn't feel, as I was reading more about it and the mechanisms, I didn't feel like it maybe did anything new or innovative, but it did seem a well put together package and thought through game, with the different parts of the ship you can go to take different actions and help each other there, losing part of the ship, rebuilding the ship.
Yeah.
I thought it seemed very well put together.
Yeah.
So I think it looks
$38
surprisingly
for
good.
the base pledge, which is certainly
isn't bad.
reasonable.
Yeah.
$77 for the stuff with the minis.
and it's everything's mini, all the tokens
yeah.
become minis. It's a lot.
And if you want to go fully deluxe, you go in 106, but that has dice trays and play mats
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of
so.
stuff you don't probably
Yeah, the
really
barrier
need,
entry on this?
extra stuff.
No,
yeah.
it doesn't seem
No.
too high, and let's see how it's doing. It's doing quite well. 834 backers, 70 grand, 6 days to go. So, one that kind of took me a little bit by surprise.
Yeah.
One that did not take me by surprise, because this is definitely not my style of game, looks like the update to Shadowrun Edge Zone, the 6th world
with a
upgradable
Jurassic Park font for Edge Zone.
Yeah, card game. Now, this is a game that I have really no background with. I do know that it's been pre-existing, right?
Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure out what I was looking at, I'll tell you. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, so it's some card game. Then my eyes must have glazed over a line or two that explained that this is actually a reworked trading card game.
Yes.
With new artwork, new card frames, tightened up rules, whatever that means, in a non-collectible delivery format now, where you're getting about 300 plus cards in one box.
You're getting a lot of
cards.
cards.
And there's 2 boxes. That's a lot of cards, by the way, even for a let's call it a new trading card game or CCG. A set of cards is between 250 to 350 cards. Usually they're giving you that twice. That's a giant's pool of cards for a new, push.
What do we think of these cards?
I don't love the new card frames. I mean, they are better than the old ones, but the old ones look incredibly dated.
Yeah.
The new ones are better.
So Dirk Montgomery here is clearly played by Benedict Cumberbatch, right?
I don't know who that is. That looks like Josh Hartnett.
Kinda does, but it looks more like
I
Benedict
think
Cumberbatch
Benedict
if you see him up
Cumberbatch.
close. Josh Hartnett's not a bad choice either, but that's definitely Dr. Odd Montgomery.
Dr. Oddly.
Yeah.
There's a point somewhere in this page where it shows a side-by-side of the old card and the current card.
Find that, shall
It's
we?
really, it kind of
There we
speaks
go.
to...
Old style, new style. Yeah, so the old style looks like, bless you, magic type of a vibe there, and the new style looks like a...
like a new trading card game, a deck building game, that kind of look. Yeah. Again, it's better. It's much better. I have never played the original game. Catalyst often tends to put out games, especially card games, deck building, any kind of card game, that tend to be a little overwrought.
Yeah.
They tend to do that. The people they work with or the folks that design for them tend to put out games that are big, they're crunchy, they're almost lifestyle games. This is definitely going to be one of those.
Yeah.
It's a trading card game with some history, bringing some baggage, no matter how much it's trying to divorce themselves from that baggage. So you're either in or out on this kind of project.
Yeah.
There's no real middle ground. Nobody walks by the table and goes, oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, I'll sit down and try that. No, you dedicate yourself to this.
Yeah.
This is not I'm walking by and thought I'd give it a shot kind of game.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have much to say because this is just not my type of game.
I like this theme a lot. I think Shadowrun is a very cool theme. It's a cool setting. I've never played this one, and I do like CCGs. I just wonder if this one might be one that maybe was better left in the past.
Okay. What about TCGs? See, because we certainly don't see enough of those every week.
Ooh.
Here's Vanquishers TCG, making $130,000. And let me tell you, just looking at that front image there, I can see why this is making so much money. Spoiler: no, I can't.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the funny
4
thing.
backers.
6 days to go on Shadowrun, 6 days to go on Vanquishers.
Yeah.
Shadowrun is from a proven trading card game, as in it existed already, did so for many years.
85 Gs.
It's making 85. This is a new game, unproven game. They're not even showing you really very much.
But look at the difference.
130.
Look at the backers, though, Z.
Right,
962 for Shadowrun, 204.
That's insane. That means every one of those people is just doing a big old speculative purchase.
Well, we have beaten this poor dead horse many times.
Get the village necromancer, because I want to revive this thing
and beat it again.
Kick it back to death.
I will say, of the many games that we've looked at on Crowdsurfing, many like card games and stuff, this one has really great art. There's a lot of ones that we look at and go, why? Like, what is attracting people to this one?
Okay.
see that this one looks really gorgeous.
Okay.
Not my style.
I don't love the art, but I agree that it's well done. It's not an art style I love. There's a lot of text on those cards, but I guess that's kind of how this works.
I think it's got good artwork, and the rest of it falls flat on its face.
Art is what I'm complimenting.
Sure. Yeah, not the graphic design or
not the teeny little text box and all that stuff.
Terrible.
It really is rough.
There's little you could just kind of feel that there's corner text and little icons. This curved edge means that this one can attack the turn it comes into play. Why? Like, there's a crazy amount of stuff going on.
Even
the
project itself. I mean, the page has got this, micro font as well. That, it's. Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems like it's a game too. As you play, you're gonna be really caught up in. Can I do this? Oh wait, no, I can't because the edge was curved. Can I do this one? No. It just seems like it's going to get in its own way. In that,
it does seem like it has a lot going on. It does, there clearly has been effort and time put into this. It doesn't look necessarily like a cash grab.
Carnage though.
Let's look at these pledges really quickly. So,
quick question: how are we doing on time?
What do we got? 9:44. We got like a half hour left that we've got. We better move it up a little bit. Yeah. 80, 275. All right.
These guys are from Tampa, Florida, by the way. This company. So Vanquishers looks great.
All right. Back up to the top here. We are looking at the USC Reach, a tactical sci-fi board game. This almost has a similar look to that earlier one, but maybe a little bit more. To Spark Riders.
Yeah, this one's a deck building game, is what it says. That right
Crew
there,
management.
I was like, I don't think so. And we had just looked at the other one, which was a better looking game.
It popped more. I like though this has a two-use card system, right? Where you have you specialize in a color for that action, or you can flip around for a weaker wild, basically. I think that'll be a neat hook. I'm hoping it'll be good. But you're right, Spark Riders, unfairly comparing these two just because they look similar.
Right.
That one looks more fun.
I think that's the difference. I mean, the only thing that they are similar in is the look.
Absolutely.
That was
the look,
cooperative. This is a competitive where you are individually deck building and upgrading your crew as you go. I like that idea of the simultaneous reveal, but also, do you maximize the use of the card or use a wild to maximize that type of card, and so I think that this one had some interesting things going for it.
I like
the deck building.
Only
realm.
4 simple actions.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in trying this one.
If it really is 45 to 90 minutes, that's a notch in his favor. Necromolds. This is the Call to Arms expansion and a reprint of the base game. This is a game that Tom has a lot of love for, or I don't remember. I think he gave it a pretty good rating. Yeah.
Not a great one.
Oh, okay.
But
it's still approval, right?
I believe, yeah. So I mean, it's not like his favorite tactical combat game, but it's one you can play with kids, I think, is what he finds really charming about it.
Seal of Excellence.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, I like
take it all back, Chris. You're wrong.
Do you know Tom at all?
My goodness.
His social security number is.
The big hook on this is basically it's Play-Doh type molding clay that those are going to be your,
and you can smash
your units, right? And you're placing those on the board. You can smash them. This one, it looks like it has like little weapons and things that you can actually stick right into the clay.
That's pretty cool.
It's a neat hook. So there you can see it right there. Right there's your molds.
Make the mini, you put them out, you stick a sword in his little hand, and bam, you got a miniature.
Or his gut.
Yep. Smash your minis with your signet ring there, and there you go. You got.
Every part of me wants to play this.
Yeah, it's a very, very kind of silly. I don't think this is going for anything really serious, but talk about a game that stands out, right?
Yeah.
It's a neat idea, a neat way to handle this, skirmish game type of a thing. So
I just love squishing the weapon. He has a sword now.
Yeah.
He's got a lance.
I do think this is also
you have a sword in the gut.
Yeah, I do think this is also a game that as people found out about it, they wanted to get it, couldn't get it, and now they can get it. Yeah. So
it's really cool.
And it's obviously doing very well.
If you're going for unique in your collection, this is unique.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, moving ever onward. Sorry, I'd scroll down as me. We'll start up at the top. History of the Ancient Sea. So it says this is a relaunch. It looks like it's just barely making its funding, but it still has a little bit over a week. And so these are 3 separate games that are all built around, civilization in the ancient Mediterranean.
Yeah, this impulse idea of sort of mechanically taking little actions. I was thrown for a while because I kept thinking, are they reprinting Mare Nostrum again as part of a line now?
Right.
Mare Nostrum has been printed a couple of times. It's a big game.
Yeah.
No, this is a different game that happens to have the same title.
Right.
It took me a while to figure that out. So it's one that plays for two, Hellas, which unfortunately is also a game for two players from Cosmos.
From Cosmos, back in that line.
Stop using other people's names. Hellas is a game for two that existed before. This is a different two-player game.
Yep.
The one in the middle there, never heard of that title, but then again, Mare Nostrum being the multiplayer one also, threw me off. These sound interesting. I mean... I don't know if I would jump into all three games at once as an unproven thing, but...
Yeah, it's about $200 to get all three of them. So I would think that this would be something that either you're a huge fan of this theme, right?
Yeah.
Or you have played something, like this, or... Because it's a relaunch, I don't know if it had ever... actually been out there.
Sound of Drums is the company. They've created
let's
two
take a look
things.
here. Let's see what they've
created.
created.
And yes, it's basically these two.
So
Funding unsuccessful the first time, and this is the relaunch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they have a cool look, and we don't see too many. We see a lot of war games from the same companies over and over and over and over.
Right.
They do one every month, it seems.
Yeah.
It's nice to see these looking so sharp, so distinct, that very lovely, bold red line across the bottom with their logo.
Yeah.
Having a unified look. This is cool.
That's a good
if
point.
I was a war gamer, I'd be excited about this.
Yeah, looking at the components and the map, everything looks like a modern hobby board game. It doesn't look like, you pulled this off of a dusty shelf, and I know some war gamers love that look and love that feel. They want the hex encounters and all that kind of stuff, but there are a lot of people that are going to be thrown off just from the visuals, and this is something that looks kind of like a Euro game, right?
It does, very much so.
Even something like this where you've got the little, almost look like blocks, but they're not. I like the look. The look of this looks very, very polished and put together.
I agree.
I'd be curious about these. I know some of them say that they have a solo mode.
Yeah.
I tend to maybe enjoy that experience a little bit more than, it's the four of us kind of go out and ward together and stuff. But
yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy. Next up, AdapTableTop LED, a modular...
AdapTableTop.
Adaptable.
Adaptable.
So I do have a question about this, because we have seen multiple of these where
I've hated every one of them.
Okay, well, I as well, but I'm wondering, they're typically targeted towards RPG players.
Yes.
So is there something, as not somebody who plays RPGs, is there something I'm missing why you want kind of that double
There is
layer?
something you're missing, because every time these projects come up and I say they're stupid, people come out really harsh and like, this is a great idea. This changed my whole gaming life.
Okay,
and
so
there
there's
are some
something
people
in
that love
RPGs that this is this whole double table.
Yeah.
RPGs have a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can
And
think
so
of.
maybe that's it, keeping it separate?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because sometimes you're flipping through papers, you're writing changes to your inventory and your stats, and it would almost be nice if I weren't taking up some of the table with that, if the playing surface were a different plane.
I think this is going to be
I'm reaching a little bit.
Yeah, this might be better for RPGs or miniatures,
Right.
For board games, to me, this looks...
Well, I can't imagine playing a board, and I admittedly like the toy factor and the minis, that kind of stuff, but playing a miniature game that is right here, at chest or chin level, I'd be like, you want me to see anything, so I just don't think it plays into the type of games I like.
Also,
I do like this one a little bit. This idea of just grabbing a box of this stuff and then setting it up to play somewhere where there isn't a table.
Maybe.
You could take a little table. I mean, again, so that exists. It's not like we don't have tables.
Sure.
Couldn't you just play on the floor, though? I mean, that's only going to be a couple inches.
Well, they're playing somewhere where there's
on a
sand.
rock.
It
They're
looks
playing on
like.
a rock.
Yeah, or a rock or something. But
because there's definitely no
They're on
wind.
Arrakis.
Yeah,
That's
on a big boulder, there is definitely no
it's
wind.
just, I'm trying to figure out what the idea here is. Also, those LED strips, folks.
Yeah.
Several of us have had tables that have LED strips or sat at them. I was over those very quickly.
Also, you can buy them at
Those
IKEA for
things-
$4.
They're just not good. I'm sorry. They are not useful.
No,
You don't like
Yeah, it's like the one
straight in your
sitting.
eye.
If you're lighting the side where you're sitting, that looks neat. That can cast a little mood lighting on the stuff in front of you. There's also the one across from you burning your retinas off. Okay.
But this one you
doesn't
custom
work.
do. You don't have to do both sides because you assemble it yourself.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to move forward.
Or go to Home Depot and go get them right now.
Dungeon Universalis New Challenges. This is an expansion and a reprint. This is something that came through the studio. Did Tom ever end up playing this? I never did.
It's like a really big. They're almost treating it as like a system.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, it's a game. It's a board game. It's not a book or a role playing experience. But they also keep talking about we have a plan for basically supporting this for 6,000 years.
Yeah, they do.
This game will be eventually will consume all other games and will be the only game.
Right.
It also will run the country.
Come in a giant
Correct.
cube.
Yeah, it's just. I thought that was a little weird how epic they're making this sound, and it very well might be. I don't find anything exciting about this one.
Yeah, this is not my
jam.
Not my jam, yeah.
I don't know.
Not my jam. Don't like those cards. Walls of text. Lots of small font.
So yeah,
I didn't make it far on this one. Yeah.
The 4.25 weight on BGG also is like, I'm sorry, no thank you. This is,
I'm going to lean towards Clinic if I'm going to play something that.
Now, to be said,
cerebral.
to be clear though, they're selling this as a lifestyle game, so I think they're being very upfront about that. A huge board game made for veterans of dungeon crawlers and RPGs, a system to play for a lifetime, hundreds of hours. They're telling you that, right?
Yeah.
If that's your jam, this is probably going to be very exciting to you. It's like, hey, I want to play the same system with the same group over years, right? That's kind of what some people do with Gloomhaven. This looks like it has even more of that.
For like 5 years.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's who they're going for here.
All the stats on the card and all the text.
Yeah, you're pointing at something that's not up. You mean
right
like this?
There,
right there, like all those little bitty stats, all that text.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how big those cards are if they're standard.
Well, they're the size of a table, which is why you need a second plane.
Size of the table? All right.
Yeah, one card is this big.
I take back my complaint.
All right, here we go.
It comes printed on a blanket.
Revengend Story. Hey, I absolutely hate that title.
I didn't see this one.
Revengend Story, a game of identity concealment, dark fantasy, and battle. So, to me, from what I can tell, this looks to be a riff on Werewolf, but with some, like, spatial board elements as well.
It's all I could walk away with was thinking this is very confusing Werewolf.
Yeah, very
confusing werewolf.
You got a
Rainbow
blood team,
vomit.
a villain team, and then a survivors team, from what I can tell. I can't quite tell what's going on here other than it looks like a riff on Werewolf with some board element where cards are your board, maybe.
I'm already out just on social deduction.
I'm out of that title.
I don't love the title
out on
either.
Rainbow Vomit.
Yeah, I think, well, let's see, how well is it doing? It's not doing great, but it's going to fund 121 backers. I think this is a niche type of a game, although Werewolf is not niche.
No, but Werewolf also exists, and there's a lot, like social deduction games.
Yeah.
There was, I think, a giant bubble.
Yeah.
That this is definitely on the tail end of, if not missed it completely.
Yep.
I think
those games are done. Okay, I think it's we're in post that kind of game with the delivery of Blood on the Clock Tower. Ends an era.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
All right, next up we've got Age of Inventors, and I like this theme a lot. I'm split on the cover. But
I don't like the cover.
I don't love the cover. I don't hate the look of the board. I don't hate the look of that, although it gives me a little bit of like a Suburbia almost vibe to it. But I like the theme, and I kind of like the aesthetic other than the cover. I just don't feel like I have a good sense for what the game is. I mean, I didn't watch the videos too much or any of that.
I feel like it's more involved than they could put here in the Kickstarter page without being overly done. That being said, I'm really interested in this one.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really good. I like the theme and the look, but also I don't know, I really like the steampunk. I really like the Inventors theme, and just I like Euro games with really good theme. That's my niche, and I think that it looks like it could be really involved. I would say I am intrigued by this one and want to know more, but I think it is going to be an investment to learn those different mechanisms and how it flows. And so I can't really speak to that, but this one has me hooked to where I want to do that extra research to find out.
It's very involved.
It does look involved, but it does look interesting, and I do like the screen printed wooden meeples.
There's a lot of beige, so
a lot of beige.
You're in.
But there's a lot of metal and gears and
no, but I'm
that's
saying that
fucking
as
jam.
I'm saying that as a compliment.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
Chris, that's a supreme compliment.
He's
sorry,
in.
yes, okay.
but yeah,
All right.
the page laid out well enough that
When
I
was
have
supposed to be done?
a little idea what's going
Quarter
on.
after, and we still have
Okay.
to do our picks of the
All
week
right,
and everything.
all right.
So we're just got to pick up a little bit. So FateForge, Chronicles of Kaan. This is a game that we played. And played it live, a pre-production copy of it. And it is using a similar, if anyone has played Vengeance, it's using a similar dice kind of combat system, and got
it's
a
Mighty
little
Boards.
quote from me there. Yeah, Mighty Boards.
So they're the ones who put out Vengeance.
Correct.
So,
It's the same designer as Vengeance.
Oh, I got you.
And so it's
Okay,
kind of
I got
taking
you.
that core dice system, iterating on it. There are some differences, and putting it into a cooperative dungeon crawl type of a feel.
It's like an epic big campaign, right?
Yeah.
Vengeance was not. Vengeance was one
Vengeance
shot.
was not. You played through multiple bosses basically, but it was
Okay.
more like a boss battler essentially. And
Cool.
yeah, so if you want to learn more about it, you can watch that video. So we don't have a lot of time to talk because we're kind of moving forward. But it did some very interesting things. It is based off of a pre-existing RPG, which was based off of the 5th edition D&D.
Okay,
So
all right.
FateForge already has a backstory and a lore and you know a whole kind of environment that's already been established. And now they're putting it into a board game that has app integration.
Oh,
so
okay,
there's branching
okay.
narrative, there's story elements, but it's really based on these kind of small chunk combats that take, 35, 40 minutes. So,
All right.
all right, Sparta, Struggle for Greece. All right,
2 to 3 hours.
Solo mode,
1 to 2
1 to 2 players.
2
I love how
to 3
they
hours.
solo mode and 1 to 2 players
Yeah.
already encompasses solo mode.
Yeah.
2 players to 3 hours.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours, ages 14 and up. This is not doing gangbusters, but it's doing well. 400 backers is not nothing. Plus, it has
No.
14 days to go.
Correct.
I think it's a good-looking map. It's
Right.
good-looking
It is.
dice, good-looking everything. Not a game I'm interested in, but
Right.
the only thing I'm a little iffy on is these people definitely look like real people.
The leader tiles there.
Yeah, it's like,
there's
oh,
that.
hey, that's Joe from down the street animated
Oh, that's
to,
not
to,
Heracles?
Yeah.
to look like he's, in Rome.
Is there a
or
pledge
Greece.
level to get yourself on a card though?
Probably.
More than
I
one.
need a beefy, kind of me,
Is that what you
Beefy,
need? Yeah.
raw kind of you.
Like
yeah,
a-
the minis look cool, or the renderings anyway.
Yeah, there we go. We're looking
Yeah,
at
this
those
looks
now.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks neat. Not my
Not
speed of
something
game.
right, yeah.
Again, though, a game that in the past probably would have looked nothing like this.
Correct.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what crowdfunding kind of allows. For better or for worse, depending on your opinions. Man, did I not want to think this is as cool as I think this is.
Oh, I don't think this is cool at all.
I love the look at this right here. How is this not fascinating to you? Ah! I love the look of that.
Do you?
I really do. Now, do I
It's
want to
like-
buy one? Absolutely not.
It's like a dice fidget spinner.
I just think that is
Like,
such a
you
neat
just
little
fix it at your
thing.
desk.
It's like a dice box, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's cool. You
So you don't want to buy it, but you want to buy
No,
it for you?
I want to play with it for about
Yeah,
5 minutes
okay.
and then never think about it again.
There's
Yeah.
there's a little animation of one point someone like spins it, tosses it on the table, and then the things fly open, and I just imagine
And
like
definitely doesn't break.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, I think my dice are gonna fly out everywhere.
Now here's the issue. These, I believe, are these going to be 3D printed?
They are 3D printed. And
That's
they have
that's
a
an
whole
issue.
explanation as to why. You can read it yourselves.
Yeah. There's an issue. They explain it. I don't love that. I do think that looks really slick. I'm sorry. I think that looks really cool.
Is that? I need to see. Yeah, it is. And
Yeah, no, 3D printed. They're gonna look 3D printed.
They are. And, well, even
They
looking at them,
are.
they look 3D printed.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
sorry. To
I
me,
thought it was prototype.
even this right here, that spinning, I think that's slick.
Because I definitely would want a metal version.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Super weapon.
So you can
I
cut
do like the
something.
one below
Yes.
that, Mike. Go down a little bit to one that has a colored ring.
the colored ring. Colored. This
That
one here.
one,
This
look, it
medallion?
actually looks different depending on which side it's closed on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hold up. That's pretty neat.
Like that's the Captain America
Yeah.
shield kind of
It's
look.
either a
and that's-
bullseye or a
Yeah.
windmill
So
pattern.
wait, I
That's
can't talk
pretty
about
cool.
Age of Inventors, but we're going to spend this much time on this page.
Correct.
let's keep going.
No. All right, Factions of Soul. This is
People are saying a lot of good things about this. It looks so plain.
It really, really,
it looks so. I couldn't
really
get past
does.
you put all the energy cubes out and then you clear them off and spend 2 minutes hold on, let me divvy them all back up so we can do this 3 more times.
Game board, big black circle.
Yeah.
With a bunch of cubes that you have to redistribute 3 times however many rounds you play. I was just I like organizing, but not in the game.
Well, and the animation shows that each player has 50 cubes. It looks like go through the cleanup phase, and then rotate every planet.
Look at that next round thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying right there.
You know, people will oftentimes ask, what do you mean when you say a game is fiddly? Just look at that picture, and that's the explanation.
And also the counting, because you have to put more than are there. So to sit there and plan your turn and be like, hold on, I need 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 cubes. Oh, I have 14. Hold on, let me reroute. So if I go that way, just the fiddly AP of each turn just seems like not my style game.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was the last of our game projects. So we have 4 non-game projects here. All right. So we'll have to go relatively quickly through these. Eye to Cam 2, the webcam that lets you see eye to eye. And hey, that's great. The only issue is that now you've got a camera and a cord stuck on the middle of your screen. Also,
left. Please look like a serial killer.
Right. Look like a serial killer directly at me.
Smile.
Looking directly at me.
Post-killing.
Yeah. So the idea, we've seen a project like this before.
I was going to say, we've seen this, right? I feel like this is a project.
But this is their solution, is to take the actual camera and place it directly on your screen with the cord attached.
I love this where they're like, you could just simply move it in the middle of a meeting.
Right.
Also, I have concerns about sticking stuff to my computer screen. I don't know why.
I'm assuming it's suction, right?
I'm
it is a
assuming
suction
as
cup,
well. Right, but I just don't like that. Pushing on your screen, I don't like that.
I love use this as a teleprompter. My fellow Americans, I welcome you to...
This is clearly, it's a simple idea, but...
I have no problem with it other than I think we've seen it.
I think the marketing is bad.
Yeah. Here we go. Darkboard, ultralight, ergonomic drawing surface for iPad. So this is for people who like to animate on their iPad. I have not done that, but I imagine that this is actually a useful solution. You maybe would have some cramping, might make it harder. I don't know.
Isn't it just basically like a frame that your iPad sits inside of, so your hand is raised to the level of the iPad?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lap desk. I mean, I'll use a lap desk, if I have in the past when I was, working on the bed or whatever. And so it would be nice to have it set down so it's not moving and you are working down so I can see it. I don't think it's something I'd use often enough.
Right.
For my skill set.
I do love that whole thing of, has this ever happened to you? Bad posture and limited mobility and nowhere to grip. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This is the infomercial advertising. My favorite part of the page says, inspired by the ergonomic design of steering wheels. I thought,
it mimics the ergonomics of steering wheels.
Every time I get in my car,
so if you want to draw on your iPad while driving, now you're set.
I love drawing and I love driving, but I just can't combine the two.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well. Poopsie daisy!
Again, projects that nobody asked for and that we've seen. There's stuff like this on the market already.
Walk your dog hands-free.
Attach the poop bag to your dog.
Correct.
I have a good idea here, okay? A diaper bag that you make the child carry around.
Yes.
This is your problem now.
Yes,
Say goodbye to the day of carrying your dog's poop. Now let your dog carry its own poop, right?
Okay, I'll do that.
I don't understand what the hands-free thing means. Does the dog walk itself?
I think after your dog goes to the bathroom, you usually have to carry the poop bag. So this is like an attachment to where you don't have to.
Go back up for a second. Walk your dog hands-free. Yeah. That's not what's happening.
No, it's not.
Walking your dog hands-free means I'm not using a hand to hold the leash for the dog. It's not poop your dog hands-free, it's walk the dog.
I guess what they're saying is you can have your hands free because you're not having to hold a poop bag.
Right.
Well, logically, yes.
So therefore,
it's not a great written...
So therefore, it leads to being able to walk them hands-free. Right. But again, this is already...
The thing is, look,
this is on the market.
If you're walking your dog and you want to draw on your iPad, you're going to need one of these, right? Because you need to have your hands free while you're drawing pictures of poop.
Has that ever happened to you?
On your iPad.
No. Or anyone.
No.
Also, this dog looks way, way too happy.
What's with the toaster?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Also, I want a dog leash covered in ivy.
Also, that's a fanny pack. All right, well, here we go. Last up, we've got the Tightener? titanium folding fan, and emergency tool. Did you know that this is a necessity for real gentlemen?
I did not know that.
Well, apparently.
I would love to have a fan that is not disposable. Oftentimes they are too frail, and I do like a good fan. Brings me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to just be a fan. I also want it to be some sort of tool.
I need it to be a tactical weapon. If I'm ever stuck in the box of an opera house and I need to break my windshield.
Break your window.
Now, apparently.
I love my favorite thing of this whole thing is that you can protect your hairstyle in an emergency. Did y'all see that line?
No.
It was like you can fan it to protect your hairstyle in case of an emergency.
Where is that?
Oh my gosh, it's
thoughtful details.
Oh yeah, it also has features square screws, which is fascinating.
Oh, silk fanning.
Is it?
Okay,
Silk
that's good. That's
fanning.
good. Yeah, I like the look of that. Super. Oh!
Strong construction.
Adjustable pivot screw there.
I think you might have
Specifications.
missed it. It doesn't have a picture with it. It's just a line in the text somewhere.
It really brings your outfit to the next level. That's what it says. And it's a great conversation
I mean, if you
starter.
use this in public, I would 100% make fun of you.
That picture right there with like the three Jurassic Park strikes. There's a caption that reads like,
for demonstration only.
will not come with this design.
Yeah. The spare fanning would be blank.
Then don't put that picture on your page.
Well, you can draw it with your iPad, Chris. Because your hands would be free while you're walking your dog. Is that $369?
What? No, it's
$729?
No.
For two of them, though, right?
That's for two. So you can do it.
One for each hand?
Yeah. Double emergency.
Again, it's titanium. I'm assuming titanium is not cheap.
I kind of.
And also, this is apparently not the
use it.
first time they've offered this project. I guess that this was something that has been done before. All right.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's time for our picks of the week. Let's just start to my right here with Z, and we'll go around
I'm going to
the
go
horn.
with Spark Riders 3000.
Spark Riders 3000.
That was really fun. It's colorful, bright, seems bubbly, and it's the most intriguing one, I think.
Is this anyone else's?
The one that I
Yours
know the
too?
least about, I think. Also,
Okay.
it has the most potential from where I am right now to where it could be.
Okay, and it's Camilla's as well?
Yeah, you can go ahead and put me on this one, Roy, as well. It definitely caught me off guard, you know? I mean, going into it and surprised me. And the more I learned, the more excited I was by it. So this is one that, I'm really excited about.
Interesting. And then we'll also, actually, since we know Tom's pick of the week, before we get to Chris's, we'll just put up Necromolds would be Tom's pick of the week. He obviously liked it. He gave it a seal of excellence, and I'm sure he's excited about more squishy Play-Doh to play with. Chris, what's your pick of the week?
I was really considering Super Tron 3000. Spark Rider 3000. That's a very close second, but I'm going with Age of Inventors.
Age of Inventors for Chris.
It looks really sharp. That cover is kind of off-putting, honestly, but the idea of building up an engine and you get asymmetrical laboratories that you can further diversify and work towards different objectives with these historically but fictionalized just a touch inventors. I'm all for it. I'm really
also, it definitely fulfills the Chris Yee beige ratio that is needed. So
Spark Rise 3000 is too bright.
Too bright, too colorful,
too many colors.
too vibrant. And for me, probably no surprise, I'm going to go with the Fox Experiment because I've played it multiple times. I love it. And I am backing it, and I'm excited for the final production copy because it's a really slick game. All right, wow, we did it. We did it in our allotted time. And folks, don't go anywhere because the final day of the Autumn Spectacular has just begun. Coming up very soon, we've got a special guest. We've got Alex Marks coming in to teach and play Oceans.
With the expansion? Yes.
And that's the beginning of a long block. We've got Sagrada coming up. We've got all kinds of stuff, and then we're finishing up today with our Cthulhu Death May Die game and talk. So lots of great stuff. Don't go anywhere. You'll just want to go on to our next stream here in just a few. Am I right? Yeah? Yep. Until next time, I'm Mike DeLisio.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Chris Yee.
We'll see you in a few.